Energy Board of Directors meeting to order. Today is January 8th, 2025. Well, it's the beginning of the year, my first meeting in this year, 2025. So, Happy New Year. Wishing everyone a wonderful, fabulous, and great new year where we are able to serve our communities in the best possible manner. I'm going to start this meeting by welcoming two new members. This is a new year, new board, and there are two new members. Welcoming Vice Mayor Gary Barbadios from Milpitas. Gary, welcome to SVCEA.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you. And also Council Member, former Vice Mayor of Cupertino, J.R. Fruin. Welcome to SVCEA. Thank you. You did attend our last meeting in December, so thank you for coming in that day. I'm looking forward to working with both of you, and I say that on behalf of the full board and staff here. And then I'm going to turn to Director Sally Meadows. Really thrilled to welcome you back in person this evening. Okay, with that, let's get started. And Andrea, what do we need to do? Roll call?
Yes, please. I will begin with those of us in person today. Director Barbadillo.
Here.
Fruin.
Here.
Craig.
Here.
Showalter.
Here.
Scozola.
Here.
Chairwalia.
Here.
Director Klein.
Here.
Martinez Beltran.
Here.
Risto.
Here.
Meadows.
Here.
And joining us remotely, Vice Mayor Tyson.
Here.
Director Hilton. Director Hilton, if you can hear us.
Here.
Thank you so much. I will note that Director Lee is absent this evening, but we do have a quorum of our board.
Thank you. With that, we will open for public comment on matters not on tonight's agenda. Is there anyone here in person, online?
No hands raised, Chair.
Thank you, Andrea. Close that, and then we are going to start this meeting with the adoption of a resolution commending Director Evelyn Chua for her dedicated service to SVCE. She has been with the board for 4 years, I believe, and is now going to be switching to being an alternate director. And I have a resolution with me here. Is there a way I can show it?
Yes, it's showing.
Yes.
It's showing?
I see.
Okay.
They can see it.
Great, great. Oh yeah, it is right there. Super. Evelyn is not with us in person tonight, so Evelyn, thank you so much. It has been wonderful working with you, and you have contributed a lot, bringing ideas that you have implemented in Milpitas and bringing a lot to the SVCE community. Look forward to working with you on other issues of mutual interest to our constituents. Thank you, Evelyn.
Thank you all.
And I know the staff will make sure we get this resolution across to you in a couple of days. With that, we are going to move to the next item. Andrea, would you take over there, please?
If we could have a motion to approve that resolution, that would be great.
Oh, wonderful.
Move to approve.
Second by Klein.
Any other comment on that? Seeing none, can we have the roll call vote, Andrea?
Yes, and also seeing no public comment. This is to adopt Resolution 2025-01. Chair Walia.
Aye.
Director Scozola.
Aye.
Fruin.
Aye.
Meadows.
Aye.
Risto.
Aye.
Barbadillo.
Aye.
Craig.
Yes.
Martinez Beltran.
Yes.
Showalter.
Yes.
Klein.
Aye.
Vice Chair Tyson.
Yes.
Director Hilton.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Thank you. Now there is the adoption of a resolution that I'm going to turn to staff, CEO Monica Padilla.
Yes, good evening, Chair Walea and directors. I get the privilege of recognizing or asking for support on the resolution to recognize Chair Walea, who served as the chair of the board for 2024. I'm not going to go through all the things that she presided over, but there were very, very many things that we accomplished in 2024, thanks to the great leadership of Chair Walea and of the board. We have a couple of things that we want to share with you, I think, before we go to a motion, including one of the amazing things that we get to do as a staff and that the board gets to participate in are ribbon cuttings for some of the big projects that we work on, including the solar and storage. Chair Walea got to attend on behalf of the board and SVCE and speak at the ribbon cutting for the Victory Pass project in the Palm Desert area or Palm Springs area. We have a little video that we want to share with you, Chair Walea, and I think you'll appreciate it.
For us, these projects go beyond infrastructure. These are the projects we need to achieve safe, healthy, and dependable clean energy solutions. Our portion of the project is enough to power 58,000 homes in Silicon Valley and help our communities avoid 6,500 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions every year.
The Victory Pass and Eureka Solar and Storage projects are remarkable not only for their contributions to renewable energy, but also for their implications for desert conservation. By harnessing solar power, we are not only preserving our unique desert landscapes, but also promoting environmental sustainability.
The past year has brought on a record amount of clean new megawatts to serve the grid. Since 2020, we have seen over 19,000 megawatts of nameplate capacity come online in the California Independent System Operator Service territory. On behalf of Silicon Valley Clean Energy, I'd like to thank Clearway and Central Coast Energy for their partnership on this project. These are the projects. They are about creating a brighter, cleaner future for everyone.
Well, I promise you the audio and video is much better when you have good Wi-Fi. So, but yeah, so that's something that staff put together to recognize the ribbon cutting and certainly to recognize you, Chair Walea, as well. So with that, I think we have, Andrea, would the order be that we approve the motion and then we present the resolution? Okay, we want to present you with the resolution and a little plaque.
Thank you so much.
You stay in.
Director Tyson?
Well, thank you. I'm sorry that I can't be there in person. I'm so sorry to miss the opportunity to help honor Tina for her dedication, her year as the chair. I've got to say, and it's not just this last year working closely with her as the vice chair, but the year before that. And I've got to say, there's nobody like Tina for the work ethic that she demonstrates. And in addition, her attention to detail, her eagerness to learn, they're exemplary. I also appreciate her tremendous courtesy that she shows to staff, to board members, to the public, to everybody involved, and that she shows such a clear dedication to our mission. So it's been a pleasure and an honor for me to be able to serve with you this last year. And if I may go ahead and offer a motion in favor of that resolution while I have the floor, let's go ahead and do that.
Do we have public comment, Andrea? Because I see a public hand up.
Yes, Director Chua.
Thank you. Thank you all. I just want to say, it's, as you know, this is most of us, this is our favorite board. And I've been blessed for the last 4 years to be surrounded with talented, dedicated, really committed members of this board. And I just want to thank you, including the different chairs I've been under, including Chair Tyson and now Chair Tina. It's been an honor partnering with you. I'm not going away. I'll be an alternate. I'll be busy implementing the $3 million grant from Congressman Rokana of going electric Milpitas and with partnership with SVCEA. Thank you so much and Happy New Year.
Thank you so much, George, and thank you so much, Evelyn. It really has been a pleasure. And I want to say something, but I'll wait for now.
I would second, if there's a motion on the table, which I think there is, I'd be happy to second.
Okay,
the
Andrea,
motion.
do you want me to just, we are kind of in this awkward space. Do you want
Yes.
me to just, okay, moderate? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was the awkwardness. Okay, so there's a motion by Vice Chair Tyson and seconded by Director Meadows. Let's take some comments and then we'll vote on it. So any other comment? Director Klein.
Yes, and I'll just second what Vice Chair Tyson said. It's just been a pleasure to work with you. Well, for my time on this board, but especially in the last year, having you as chair, you have ultimately, a friendliness with staff, with the board here, that really comes through in everything that you do. Your attention to detail is very exact. Your writing is very neat, unlike my own. But how you've run this meeting has been really, really inspirational, and just how you care about this organization and making sure that you get the best from the board as well as the best from staff. So thank you for the time that you put in and making sure that this organization runs smoothly. As former Director Chua said, I think we really love this organization, all of our board members here, and what you've done in the last year is really exemplary. So thank you for your service and setting an example as chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Director Martinez Beltran.
Thank you, Chair. I want to thank both of you ladies. First, I want to thank you, Chair. I know that there were probably some items that you had hoped to accomplish as well, and you put on the back burner as you sought to get us through the transition with our new CEO and making sure that SVCE stayed strong. And of course, we've got a phenomenal staff and board, which I think makes it a pleasure to serve on this board. It has been, I think, everyone's put in the effort to be sure that this is somewhere where we come and we're really looking to do the work of everyone, comprehensively, all of our cities. So I really thank you for taking charge with that and making sure that we continue to have the impact that we all hope to have in this young organization. It's been great to see you grow with it as well. And Director Chua, I personally have learned from you much, and I really appreciate your dedication, always coming in, having just lots of inquisitive questions and pushing the envelope a bit for us to think a little bit more outside the space that we're in, even though we're in a very open space. So thank you for that, and I wish you all the luck. I don't know where you're at, but I really want to be there.
Agreed. Director Risto.
Thank you. As an alternate, I can understand why those of you who sit on this board on a regular basis want to stay here. It's a special place. It's a special group doing such important work in our area for our future. I think there's probably no more important work we can be doing than decarbonization and making a big difference across the area and setting an example. And I really appreciate the meetings I've attended with Chair Walia, all of my interactions with her. She is just kind, she's thoughtful, she's detail-oriented, and has just really been an example of a great way to run meetings, stay on task, and make everybody feel welcome. And I appreciate everybody on this board, so thank you.
Thank you so much. Director Showalter.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what most people have said, and also add that, in a group that only gets together once a month, except with committees, it is hard to forge a community. And you have been very instrumental in making sure that everyone feels welcome and included, and that we do function as a real group. A real good board. And so thank you for bringing us all together.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Director Scazola.
Yes, and also I want to echo everyone's comments. I mean, everyone's mostly said most of the great things already, but I will add a couple of things. Director Chua, your sense of humor I really appreciate. I don't know if everyone knows this, but she's really funny, and so I'm going to miss that. And Chair Walia, I should say, I really appreciate that you were always a phone call away. Like, you made it, as soon as I came on, you immediately made it apparent, hey, you can call me anytime, you're new. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me. And you've done that every time, and I can't appreciate that enough. I learned so much, especially from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I am deeply touched and honored. Monica, that was quite a trip, 104 degrees in the heat. Perfect way to see what is the right place to have those solar power plants. If you will bear with me, I thought about this, but I felt with 2 new board members, a new board here tonight, it would be good for me to talk about what we have achieved in the last year. So bear with me for about 2 to 3 minutes, 3 minutes, I think. And it really has been my honor to serve as SVCE Board Chair for 2024. And for that, I have to thank the board for your trust and support of me. I couldn't have done it without that. We at SVCE continued with our mission to provide clean, affordable, and reliable electricity to our member communities, diverse communities, I should say, while responding to the dynamic and ever-changing energy sector. And I'm really proud of all that we have achieved together. Our top accomplishment, as has been referred to earlier, is that we successfully managed a very smooth CEO transition from a highly regarded former CEO Girish Balachandran to Monica Padilla. That happened after the first quarter of the last calendar year. We did this while not just maintaining, but enhancing the agency's core values. As board chair, my primary goal was to ensure that we stay stable under new leadership and continue on our innovative path. Might I say that SVCE successfully navigated this and strengthened itself in its first year of 2 women leading the organization together. Somebody pointed that out to me, so I couldn't resist sharing that tonight. The challenges and complexities of compliance mandates and market realities continued, and we stayed committed to finding solutions. As the energy grid evolves, we will continue to adjust our responses as a team, as has been said. And with an eye to the future and to ensure that SVCE is able to meet its clean targets, after great thought and deliberation, the board recently, I believe in November, authorized to contract for carbon-free nuclear power to be delivered in 2025, 2020 through 2027 if needed. This decision will allow SVCE to continue meeting its obligations while balancing clean power with affordability and reliability. Another noteworthy highlight from the year includes board authorization to enter into a power purchase agreement with our first local source of clean energy called Glossy Garlic. This is the first utility-scale solar and storage facility to be built outside Gilroy. Why I'm sharing this with you? Because this tells us the impact of the work we do. With this project, with this addition, our investments at SVCE in renewable energy contracts total $3.8 billion, more than 900 megawatts renewable energy, more than 582 megawatts of battery storage. You know, roughly we are looking at almost 600,000 homes to be powered. That's the impact of what we do at SVCE, what SVCE has done to date. Affordability remained a top issue for SVCE in the year. In February last year, I represented the agency at CalCCA Lobby Day in Sacramento. I met the state of California's legislators, thank you, Benna, and advocated on behalf of all our customers, the 13 communities, with a special emphasis on affordability and reliability concerns across our diverse communities. Thank you, the programs, marketing teams. You've had a busy year launching, I don't know how many new decarbonization programs, quite a few. In 2024 alone, SVCE customers claimed more than $3 million in home rebates. In 2024, SVCE also became the first CCA to approve an on-bill financing pilot program. I share all of this because those of you who have worked with me, you know that we can do all the great work here at SVCE, but we are only successful when we finally connect with our customers. And to do that, I have been a strong advocate of close partnerships with each of the 13 service territories. And the permit modernization program efforts from this year that staff has worked with and collaborated with all the cities to support them, this is going to go a long way to achieve our goals. We adopted 20-year long-term clean energy targets. We celebrated the power of community. We certainly worked within the constraints of our budget. Of course, Amrit, we have to do that. And staying within our long-term financial stability while adapting to SVCE 2.0, tweaking our governance policies as needed. So there was that shift happening. Time for a new CEO, also time as the organization grew. So this is all work in progress. All the initiatives, our vision, our planning, all the efforts continue without limits of a calendar year or a fiscal year. It's all one big continuum. Our mission doesn't end on December 31st, doesn't start on January 1st. That said, keeping with the democratic process, I'm happy. I'm really happy to pass the torch on to the next board chair later tonight, this evening. Thanks to the board and staff for working with me through the year as we accomplished so much together, especially juggling a handful of packed agendas in some board meetings. Thank you, Dream Team SVCE, for your incredible work, making everything possible, CEO Monica Padilla, and each and every member of your team. Andrea, Michael, and Nick, I thank you for your magic to ensure board meetings run properly. I couldn't have done it without your support or your smiles. And one last thing. Something exciting is in the works here. Our dream of owning our own SVCE home is finally underway. Under my leadership, we have started the process to purchase our own commercial office building. Just before the Christmas holiday, the board gave our CEO the authorization to proceed. Now that's what I will call a thrilling way for me to end my term as SVCE board chair. Thank you all for everything. Thank you for being a fabulous team. Thank you for reminding me. I have been reminded that we need to take a vote on the resolution.
Yes, so I believe I have a motion made by Vice Chair Tyson and a second by Director Meadows. So if we're ready, I can do a roll call vote. Director Scozola, excuse me, and this is for Resolution 2025-02. Director Scozola?
Aye.
Fruin?
Aye.
Meadows?
Aye.
Risto?
Aye.
Barbadillo?
Aye.
Craig?
Aye.
Martinez Beltran?
Aye.
Showalter?
Aye.
Klein?
Aye.
Walia?
Aye.
Vice Chair Tyson?
Yes.
Director Hilton?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. With that, let's move to the action item consent calendar. We have items 1A through 1G. And do we have any public comment on that? No. Bring it back to the board. Any questions, comments? If not, a motion to approve. Director Klein?
Move to approve the consent calendar.
Do I have a second? Director Martinez Beltran? Can we have a roll call vote by city, please?
Yes. Director Scozola?
Aye.
Fruin?
Aye.
Meadows?
Aye.
Risto?
Aye.
Barbadillo?
Aye.
Thank you. Craig?
Yes.
Martinez Beltran?
Aye.
Showalter?
Aye.
Walia?
Aye.
Klein?
Aye.
Vice Chair Tyson?
Yes.
Director Hilton?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Thank you. With that, we'll move to the regular calendar. The item number 2 on tonight's agenda is a CEO report by CEO Monica Padilla.
All right, a couple of things to highlight, including some items that are not in the CEO report that are just kind of late breaking news. And so SVE staff is super excited to announce that we will be, along with the City of San Jose, the recipients of the Charging, Fueling, and Infrastructure, that is CFI grant. This is something that we just learned yesterday. So the grant will fund publicly accessible EV chargers and will support transportation and electrification throughout the region. This is consistent with the EV charging programs previously approved by the board. We jointly, with the City of San Jose, applied for $12 million, of which half would be distributed to the participating jurisdictions of Morgan Hill, Saratoga, Milpitas, unincorporated Santa Clara County, Gilroy, Cupertino, Mountain View. So through the application, SVCE agreed to match the $6 million with $1.5 million of our own. We want to stress that the incoming administration, unfortunately, has vowed to cut programs like CFI and other grants stemming from the Inflation Reduction Act and the bipartisan infrastructure law. SVCE will work with the City of San Jose to ensure that we can swiftly confirm funds and get them before the new administration cuts them. But we want to be prepared and communicate that this is still a risk, that even though we've been awarded these funds, that there's still a risk that we don't receive them. We are in the process of notifying your staff so that we can expedite the receipt of these funds and do any of the admin work we have to do with that. So with that, I want to thank the City of San Jose, who's not here. Maybe Director Freeman, you can take the message back to your team. And the cities that worked with us on this, but more importantly, staff who kind of mobilized very quickly to get this done, including Jessica Cornejo, Anthony Yulo, Hannah Gustafon, Napur Hiremath, and Zoe Elizabeth. So thank you and congratulations to those cities that received, are gonna receive the grant, hopefully. I was also asked to provide a little bit of an update, if anything, on the office purchase. So we went into closed session before the holidays, and the board reaffirmed the authority that they had given me to purchase a building in downtown Sunnyvale. Process-wise, we have access to the building now, and we are starting the due diligence process. We hope to have the inspection starting on Friday, and we will start to review the purchase sale agreement with the seller of this building shortly. And so everything's moving really fast. We anticipate that if we don't have any surprises and all goes well, we will close on this building sometime in mid-February. So that's all I have to announce so far. And then last, for the CEO report, we wanted to provide a quick update on a couple of programs that for your benefit. We'll start with Leanna Wen, who's going to give an update on the full service home upgrade program. And then Sean Olson, who will provide an update on eHub. I think you're doing two updates, though. I forgot what the second one was. Emergency water heater.
Good evening, board. My name is Lana Nguyen. I'm really excited to announce the launch of 2 new programs for our single-family customers. The first is the Full Service Home Upgrades Program. This program offers fixed pricing for hassle-free upgrades with our partner contractors. And so we manage the whole installation from start to finish. That includes the assessment, applying for permits, the installation itself, and then applying for any third-party rebates. Next, we have the Emergency Water Heater Replacement Program. I know this is something that you all have been eagerly anticipating. When a water heater fails, a customer can call our 24/7 hotline and get upgraded to heat pump water heater. And for peace of mind, we guarantee hot water within 48 hours. What's great about these 2 programs is that income qualified customers can get no cost installation. So customers can visit the website that you see on the slides right here to learn more and to sign up. Really super excited about this program. I'm going to pass it over to Sean to continue our program updates.
Good to be here. Sean Orgel-Olson, Programs Marketing Manager, and I'm going to share a little bit about the new, revised, fresh, exciting eHub 2.0 that just went live very recently, and we're really excited about this. A lot of excitement tonight. And the reason we're excited is that this is just a great way to reduce barriers to electrification. And it does that in similar ways to what there was before, but there's actually some features that are now available that make it significantly simpler for residents and commercial customers to find out what incentives actually apply to them, which of those incentives they might be eligible for. They can put in income, they can put in various details about their household, or they can go to our business eHub and find out the incentives available if they're a commercial customer as well. Another improvement we made is we now have a home upgrades page that actually shows 3 different pathways to going electric. One of them, Leanna just mentioned, full service home upgrades. Then we're gonna have a middle pathway that's kind of like web enabled, get quotes quickly for your project. And then we have our existing one that you've all heard about many, many times, which is the home rebates, the kind of either DIY or go and find, you have your own contractor, right? You go through that process and then claim your rebate there. So we're trying to make it as simple as possible for people to see the different ways they can go electric. See that there's also third-party incentives. We have those on there as well, so not just SVCE offered programs. And in the near future, we will be launching a revised EV Finder, which is an existing tool in the old eHub. We have a brand new one coming out soon, much easier to use, easy to compare a gas vehicle versus an electric vehicle, et cetera. And the benefits there. So happy to answer any questions. You'll see marketing really kick off for this in the spring. That's the plan for that. Thanks.
Okay, unless there are any questions about anything else in the CEO report, that concludes the report.
Thank you so much, Monica, and thank you, Leanna and Sean. That is great news, and I know you're already talking to different cities about those programs to inform them, so thank you so much. Questions? Any clarifying questions? Director Klein and then Director Martinez-Beltran.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for the update. I'll be at the U.S. Conference of Mayors next week, and I'll be meeting with Senator Schiff and Congressman Khanna. But definitely, if you can pass to the board and specifically me details about the CFI grant and raising the senator's knowledge about that as quickly as possible. And I have a laundry list of definitely as the administration's changing. There's a lot of things that all of our cities are worried about as far as getting funding. This wasn't on my radar. And if there's any other thing, so this specific grant was approved, yesterday or whatever.
Yeah,
are there any other grants that we're, from a federal standpoint, that we're worried about that we know of? I'm just raising that issue that if there is, whatever information you can give me would be useful, because I can bring the senator and his staff up to speed. And
Sure.
I meet with the congressman all the time, but the senator doesn't come to our area that often, and so it'd be worthwhile to take advantage of whatever information and advocacy I can do for the organization while I'm in DC.
Certainly, we'll get you very much lots of details about this CFI grant.
Okay.
And then I'll also work with Bennett to get you maybe some talking points about some of the federal items that we care about.
Absolutely.
Because we have been working with CalCCA on kind of a federal platform and things that we care about.
That's great. And, and Senator Schiff is relatively new from at least that position, but definitely looking at it from a statewide standpoint, whatever I can do to advocate with them, I'd appreciate. So thank you. Thank you for the info. Great.
Director Martinez Beltran.
I was wondering, as you were talking about the program for the water heaters, do we work with, for example, Home Depot, Lowe's, so that there's some type of localized, marketing about programs from SVCE, say, in our territory?
So for this program, we work with a dedicated contractor, so they work with their own distributors in procuring the equipment.
Okay,
on our other programs, though, we are exploring relationships with like retailers.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking just when the end point customer is walking in, right, that they see, hey, there's this program with SVCE and you're in the territory, here's a map. Something just that could start that awareness and people getting that education. I think that would be great if we could do something like that.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Other comments? Questions? Seeing none? Did we open public? No, not yet. Any member of the public?
No.
Okay, and I don't see hands raised online. So with that, close item number 2 and move to item number 3, which is to elect a chair and vice chair of the SVCE Board of Directors for 2025. Since this is January, not July of 2025, we're going to do that. And Andrea is going to help us through that process. Can you get started with any high-level information you presented in the staff report and who has shown an interest?
Yes, happy to. Thank you, Chair. Good evening, directors. So shortly after we met last month, I sent out some information requesting those of you who are interested in serving as either our chair or vice chair to let me know. As a result of that request, I did hear from one director interested in the role of chair, and that was George Tyson. And I heard from 3 directors interested in vice chair, and those were Director Makachuk, Director Martinez Beltran, and Director Klein. And their letters of interest are included in our packet this evening. Just a reminder that this is for a 1-year term expiring next January, and there are no term limits on either of these roles.
Okay, thank you. So okay,
that I would like to read
was
at an appropriate time.
Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I just wanting to make sure I go through the process without mixing up January and July. So, that's what happens when I'm ready to hand over the baton to the next chair. So this is the last thing I'm doing as the outgoing chair, and I'm really honored to do this. This is what keeps democracy going. And that's what I referred to earlier. And like all of us, there are 2 things in common with the full board. I can say that we all believe passionately about what SVCE does. And the second thing is we all believe in the democratic process. So I am not going to take any time to share with you what the role of the chair is. SVCE board chair, most of you have been on this board and the others are on other city councils and other boards. So this is a very involved group. A lot of work happens, and that was part of the reason why I shared with you earlier what we achieved last year. I'm just going to say, firstly, is there anyone else from the board who is interested in throwing their hat in the ring for the chair position? Seeing none. So we have only one person who is interested, and that's the current vice chair, George Tyson, who is interested in serving as the chair. I'm still going to request you, George, if you can just provide a little bit of something. I know you're stuck there in Hawaii, but you could, you could share a little bit.
Yes, I'm actually staying at a place that looks like Evelyn's background. But we should talk less about that and about just the role of chair. And you saw my letter, and I think you can see this is no passing fancy for me. I'm very dedicated to our purpose here. I enjoy very much the board that we've had in the past, and I expect to equally in the future. The way we've built the staff, the way we've hired a new CEO and brought her online. I'm so proud of what we've accomplished, and I guess that my message would be one of continuity and growth as we face the new struggles of other things that we have in front of us, which, as you know, have to do with clean energy and reliability and affordability. So with that, I'll close, and thank you for your consideration.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? We're still talking just the board chair at this moment? No? Okay. At this time, let us open public comment for both chair and vice chair. And Andrea, my question for you is, should we have that statement from Brian come now, or we can hold off on that?
We'll hold for a
Great.
moment.
Super. Like I said, you keep us on track. So,
And I see no public comment for this item.
okay. With that, I'm going to bring it back to the board for any comments. And before that, I would say it's my honor to make a motion to have George Tyson as the board chair for 2025. Do we have a second? Director Showalter.
To second.
Okay, wonderful. Any comments? Director Scazola.
I was just going to say, when I first came on, he was in the big seat, and happy to have him back in the big seat.
Other comments? Director Klein?
Sure, and you know, I appreciate Vice Chair. We'll see if how long that lasts. Tyson's ultimately how he's tried to educate me and his concern for the organization. His love for the organization really comes through, especially as we looked at the transition last year. How much he worked, from let's say the subcommittee, the ad hoc committee, to make sure that the transition of having a new CEO was a critical part of this organization, and trying to make sure that transition went as smoothly as possible, but also making sure that the rest of our board is educated on the past of the organization, but most importantly, trying to make sure that we continue with our mission as much as possible. So I just appreciate what I've learned with him, my interaction with him from an executive board standpoint, on the board standpoint, but definitely his perspective of trying to make sure that this organization is successful. So thank you for your time as vice chair, and happy to support you as your transition to chair. Thank you.
Other comments? Director Martinez Beltran.
Can I use your microphone? Oh, okay, there we go. It wasn't working, sorry. No, I just want to thank you for the balance. I think it's not an easy task. We can see that, and I think every chair that's come through has demonstrated that. You certainly have as well, and I appreciate you joining us from Hawaii as well. But thank you. Thank you, George. I think you bring a lot of different points from your background that are salient and important for us to kind of keep at the front of, where we're going at the stern. So thanks.
Other comments? Seeing none, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, and this is for the appointment of George Tyson as SVCE's 2025 board chair. Director Scozola?
Aye.
Fruin?
Aye.
Hilton?
Aye.
Thank you. Meadows?
Aye.
Tyson?
Yes.
Risto?
Aye.
Barbadillo?
Aye.
Craig?
Yes.
Martinez Beltran?
Aye, sorry.
Thank you. Showalter?
Yes.
Walia?
Aye, my last vote as chair. Thrilled.
Klein?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries unanimously.
Wonderful. Congratulations, George Tyson, as the incoming board chair for 2025. And I see you have your hand raised, so your comments, please.
Well, I'm not going to belabor things with extended comments, just to say thank you for your confidence. I hope to earn it, and I expect to. And also the fact that I'm remote here, in a normal meeting format would be that I would take over the chair of this, the gavel of the meeting at this point, which I think is a little awkward because of my distance. So I would like to ask if former Chair Walia would be willing to chair the rest of this meeting for me, and I would appreciate that.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing that I'm not off the hook yet, so. Well, congratulations, and thank you so much, Chair Tyson, for having that continued confidence in my ability to run the rest of the meeting. Deeply appreciate that. With that, I am going to turn to the vice chair elections. And as mentioned earlier by Andrea, we have 3 board members who have expressed an interest, Brian Mekachuk, Yvonne Martinez-Beltran, and Larry Klein. So I do know there is a letter that Director Mekachuk sent. Could we please have that, Director Craig? Would you like to? Actually, before that, let me just double check. Is there anyone else who would like to show their interest for the vice chair position? Anyone else, remotely or in person here? Seeing none, I'm now going to ask for a 60-second statement on the interest of each of the 3 individuals. And this is the time. Let's start with Director Craig to make that remarks on behalf of Director Mekachuk.
Okay, thank you very much. So currently Director Mekachuk is in Dallas-Fort Worth Airport waiting for his second leg of his trip to Argentina. And he wanted to apologize for being unable to attend the meeting tonight. And he actually is blaming technology, as he thought the meeting was next week. So. But he would like the directors to know that he is withdrawing his letter of intent for vice chair, and he is still interested in participating in the executive committee, but I'll read the rest of that letter when that agenda item comes up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. With that, I am going to turn to Director Martinez-Beltran.
Thank you. Thank you for reading that letter and sharing that with us. That's information for me, so I appreciate that. I am looking to be vice chair again. Last year I ran, as you know, and I was 1 vote short. I've been with SVCE since 2018. It has been a complete honor to serve with all of you and those who've come before. I've learned greatly. And I try to spread the message and the mission as much as I can. My time here is, I have until 2026 in my term. And so I'm hoping, I would love to be able to serve and lead this great organization before that term ends. I think it's really important, and one of the things I really enjoy about this group is that we all come from very diverse communities, as the chair has mentioned before, with diverse needs. I mean, talking from housing, many that are built out, others that are still growing, looking at different buildings, public facility needs. The diverse transportation options that we have is just pretty interesting as well, from Caltrain to light rail, bus, micro transit, and car dependent communities as well. And as an urban planner, which I am, I very much find that this folds into all of the interests that I have. So I have been encouraging the change that we here look to make our mission at SVCEA to reduce carbon emissions, decrease the use of fossil fuels. In all of my advocacy, I've advocated on our mission, even when it was very much unpopular and there was resistance by the community, even by my colleagues, and have sought to educate the community to try to support the efforts that we're doing here community-wide, because I think they are so very important. I think the experience that I've been to Cal CCA conferences, I've been on the audit committee, I've done the legislative committee that we have here and chaired that as well, doing work in Sacramento, as well as I'm a board director for Cal Cities and have done much work there as well on behalf of the organization. Work on ABAG and have chaired the Valley Transit Authority PAC board. And so again, I feel that this crosses in everything. And so I'm asking to have the opportunity to serve as your vice chair. I think it would be a great honor to work under our new chair. And hopefully get the experience to be able to lead this before my term does end. And while I realize that, also a very good friend of mine is also running, I hope that we all get the chance before our term does end to have that. And so I'm hoping that there's a little more time for him to be able to do that. But thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Thank you. And Director Klein, please.
Sure. Thank you very much. As I said earlier, I love this organization, and I would like to be the vice chair in the upcoming year in 2025, mainly to give back. And that role I see as supporting the chair as much as possible, much like tonight, helping out Chair Walia, or former Chair Walia at this point, to help run that meeting, to make sure that these proceedings, which are critical to the operation of the organization, run as smoothly as possible. I've been happy to collaborate with the chair over the last year, or former Chair Walia, over the last year. I do think that from a organizational standpoint, while it's not a policy, I do think that the progression from executive board chair to vice chair to chair should become somewhat of a practice as far as the organization is concerned. There's a lot of collaboration that happens behind the scenes for both the executive chair and the chair of the board, working with staff, being in the room, having those meetings at the SVCEA offices. And as we talk about that, looking forward conceivably for SVCE to be permanently in Sunnyvale, having that location. Sunnyvale is the largest jurisdiction that's part of this JPA. The number of residents and the number of customers that are there is a critical part of that. And so, my mission from a council standpoint has been to decarbonize as much as possible. And bringing ideas to this organization to me is critical. The role of mayor allows me to have, let's say, especially for the mayor of Sunnyvale, allows me to have a certain amount of possibility to advocate on this organization's behalf. And I've gone to this different conferences. I've tried to make sure whatever we can do to make sure that not just SVCE but CCAs across the state are have their place and are protected. For me, I hope that I can have that opportunity to support the next chair over the next year. And to me, it's making sure that you're all successful. It's that collaboration which makes a difference. And so I hope that I have that opportunity. I've been with this organization for multiple years now, and I feel like I'm ready to take the next step up to vice chair. So thank you for the opportunity for consideration for that position. So thank you.
Thanks, Director Klein. I have to say this, we are so fortunate to have very dedicated and committed members of the board of SVCE. Whoever gets to be in the leadership position, the organization's work will continue. I just want to assure each one of you. And it's a difficult problem. We all work very well together, and to have to make that decision gets a little complicated. But with that, I am going to say, is there any question or any comments from any board members? We already took public comment, so I just want to say that. I do remember that. Any questions? Any comments? Director Showalter.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I think one of the things that I'm interested in is the balance of leadership between small cities and large cities. And I really think that although we all share the same desires to decarbonize our region, we bring very different perspectives from the larger cities and the smaller cities. And it's important that that's both demonstrated in the leadership.
Thank you. Any other thoughts, pearls of wisdom, as we all go through this slightly difficult moment? No one? Okay. So here is the process we're going to go through. Andrea will be taking a vote, and when your city's name or director's name is called by Andrea, would you please say the name of the person you would like to vote for? Whoever gets 7 votes will be identified as the next vice chair. And then at the end of that process, we will have a formal motion to ratify that. Is that correct, Andrea?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So can you please start the voting process?
Yes, I will begin with Campbell. Again, our candidates are Yvonne Martinez-Beltran and Larry Klein. Director Scozola, your vote, please.
Director Martinez Beltran.
Thank you. Director Fruin.
Director Martinez Beltran.
Thank you. Director Hilton.
Director Klein.
Thank you. Director Meadows.
Yikes. I'm going to say Director Martinez Beltran.
Thank you. Chair Tyson.
Director Klein.
Thank you. Director Risto.
I'm going to kill Rob Rennie. Director Klein.
Thank you. Director Barbadillo.
Director Yvonne Martinez Beltran.
Thank you. Director Craig.
He did the same to me. Director Klein.
Thank you. Director Martinez Beltran.
Just kidding. Myself.
Thank you. Director Showalter.
Director Klein.
Thank you. Director Walia.
Oh, man. So you two have some others to kill. So I'm sitting here running this meeting because somebody's in Hawaii. Okay. Jeez. You know, yikes is the word. This is such a difficult thing. You're both fabulous. You really are both fabulous. You know, I'm going to request one of you to please reconsider, really, in the interest of the organization. I'm looking, there are 5 votes each. I'm changing the process. That's the benefit I get because George has asked me to run this. I really am going to request one of you in the interest of the organization. You're both lovely. You're great. Yvonne, would you reconsider?
This is my second attempt, and my term ends in 2026. Mayor Klein's ends in 2028. I would really love the opportunity. I've dedicated, this is my 7th year. I would love the opportunity to serve. I hope there would be another opportunity, for my colleague at a later time.
Okay, I'm going to do something else here. Please bear with me. We are at 5 votes each. I want one of us to rethink. So I'm going to say for now, Director Martinez Beltran. That takes us to 6, and Director Klein is going to take us to 6. I really want us to pause before we decide this. That's essentially where I'm going. And I'm changing the protocol slightly. Bear with me for a second.
Officially, if I could have Director Klein's vote, just for the record.
Yes.
Thank you.
Klein, thank you.
And yes, to Director Walia's point, we are at 6 and 6 because nobody reached 7. We would consider having another round of votes.
Okay. Any other thoughts, anyone? That was, I just wanted, it's a very difficult situation. Any comments that would help us? My goal is, again, the team, the collaboration of this team. That's the reason I'm asking for this. I'm looking for please.
Being the new one.
Okay,
Right.
welcome. I remember Director Scazola when he was brand new and he helped us. I have not forgotten your words. I have not forgotten your words.
All
Really
right.
do. Thank you.
As democratic as we do the choosing of the vice chair, it's no doubt that both candidates deserves the leadership, right? But as we choose, I believe it's just fair for us to choose one, because regardless, we feel that whoever gets the vice chairman, it's a symbol. It's a symbol that will unite this board, and we are fulfilling the democratic process. I believe that either of the two candidates gets the vote. If we recast our vote, both of them are winners because we are all willing to work for a certain cause. And as I said, I'm new to this. The only information I got from the board is from Google and from you know, acquaintances I had with you as a fellow elected official in my city. But I do not doubt the integrity of this board. I do not doubt the intentions of the two candidates for vice chair. Either of them will serve fine, and we will still in unity. So if I have my thoughts, we can recast that vote unless either of them reconsiders Director Walia's contention a while ago that one of you reconsider. But either way, any of them will serve the purpose well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for putting that so beautifully. And I know I can see Chair Tyson's hand raised. Your thoughts, please, Chair.
Well, I just want to apologize for putting you in this spot.
Now he says, sitting in Hawaii, right?
What else am I going to say? And I would say, you know, it's tempting for me to after offer for some comments, but I just think now that we've heard what other people were voting, I would just say let's continue to repeat the vote and see if somebody changes their mind.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Former Chair.
Director Meadows?
Yeah, I was just going to make the observation that last year, I think we were split. We had, at least we had more than one vote, so we didn't hit 7 maybe is what it was. We were split. We eventually reached that number, but this board worked effectively together. I really don't see a problem when there's so much respect for the both of you. I think we should just stick with the process.
Oh, absolutely. Great.
Or call, who are we missing? call Brian. No, Burton's
No,
already voted.
Call
Yeah.
Supervisor Lee.
Supervisor Lee.
Call Supervisor Lee.
He's the one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's the one attending some climate something somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. See, yes, thank you. Thank you. Any other comments? None? Okay, Andra, back to you.
Okay, thank you. Director Scazola, your vote, please.
Director Martinez Beltran.
Thank you. Director Fruin.
Director Martinez Beltran.
Thank you. Director Hilton.
Director Klein.
Thank you. Director Meadows.
Director Klein.
Thank you. Chair Tyson.
Director Klein.
Thank you. Director Risto.
Director Klein.
Thank you. Director Barbadillo.
Director Beltran.
Director Craig.
Director Klein.
Thank you. Director Martinez Beltran.
Director Martinez Beltran.
Thank you. Director Showalter.
Director Klein.
Director Walia.
Director Klein.
Thank you. And Director Klein.
Klein.
Thank you. We have 8 votes Klein, 4 votes Director Martinez Beltran.
Okay. Thank you so much, and congratulations, Director Klein.
Thank you.
And Director Martinez Beltran, I know you will continue to serve the organization as you have all this while, and as the larger family of SVCE, we will all continue to work very well together. And thank you for those thoughts, Director Meadows expressed earlier, and Director Barbadillo. That was very helpful. Director Klein, would you like to say something?
So I just want to thank, I know it's been very difficult, and I want to thank Director Martinez Beltran for her service and understanding, coming close 2 years in a row is difficult. From a timing standpoint, this to me was very important to try to be vice chair this year. I thank you for the support. This is the issue of not having an odd number on the dais at any given time, which causes these sorts of problems. And I appreciate what former Chair Walia had to go through, just from that standpoint. It isn't easy when you have two great people that really want this organization to succeed. So thank you for your support, and definitely, Director Martinez Beltran, it's important that you're successful, continue to be successful in this organization, and your voice is very important on the executive board as well as this. But thank you for your interest in. I understand, it's a difficult time. So thank you.
Thank you. Before we make that official, I know that we need to have a motion and a second. And I'd be honored to make the motion for Director Klein to be the Vice Chair of SVCE Board for 2025. And do we have a second, Director?
Second. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Second, Fruin.
Director Fruin is second. Sorry, he did raise his hand prior to you. Can we have a roll call vote to
Yes.
ratify that, please?
Thank you. Director Scozola?
Aye.
Fruin?
Aye.
Hilton?
Aye.
Thank you. Meadows?
Aye.
Tyson?
Yes.
Risto?
Aye.
Barbadillo?
Aye.
Craig?
Yes.
Martinez Beltran?
No.
Thank you. Showalter?
Yes.
Walia?
Aye.
Klein?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Okay, wonderful. Now formally congratulating you. Thank you so much. A little difficult, but I know the rest of the meetings will go easy, especially when they come back from Hawaii, those guys. One is hiding there. Well, that's alternate Director Chua. Okay, at this point, we'll be moving on to item number 4, which is to appoint directors to the 2025 SVCE Executive Committee. And Andrea is going to read and give us the information on who have expressed interest, how many positions. It's in our staff reports, but I'm going to give it to Andrea here, please.
Thank you so much. So as Chair Walia mentioned, I'll review a little bit about the composition of the executive committee. Typically up to 6 board members. In the past, it has included our chair and vice chair of the board. This group provides input and support on operational matters of the organization. This group meets monthly, and this would be for a 1-year term, and there are no limits on the number of terms that any particular director can serve in this group. As a result of requesting your interest, I heard from 7 individuals listed here: Director Elliot Scozola, Director Sally Meadows, Director George Tyson, Director Brian Makachuk, Director Yvonne Martinez Beltran, Director Tina Walia, and Director Larry Klein. And that concludes the staff report.
Okay, is there anyone else who is interested? We got to make it more exciting. Okay, let's open for public comment first. Okay, no one. Getting that out of the way. Before I ask for questions, I think this would be a moment to provide 60 seconds statement to each of the 7 persons who are interested in serving on the executive committee. I'm just going to go in the order the names are listed here, so in front of me at least. So sorry, it's just the way it is. It may be I don't know what it's based on. So the first one in front of me is the name of Director Klein.
Thank you. And as Andrea already said, I think it's critical that the chair and vice chair are part of the executive committee. I served as chair of the executive committee over this past year, and it's critical from a continuity. There's a lot of decisions that get the first pass when staff is presenting them to the executive committee first before they come to this board. Not that they're making a lot of decisions, but they're giving some first direction to the operation of what this board finally sees. So for me, it's not just, and you heard my discussion previously about what I care, how I care about this organization, but I do think that not to pre-speak for Chair Tyson, but I do think it is critical that the chair and the vice chair of the board are part of that committee. And so happy to hopefully continue my service on the executive committee. Thank you.
Thank you. The second name I have in front of me is Director Mekachuk. So this is the time I'm going to turn to Director Craig.
Thank you very much. So the rest of Director Mekachuk's letter is expressing his interest in serving on the executive committee. I have a passion for environmental sustainability, and paramount in that is reducing carbon emissions. Helping SVCE with its mission is very rewarding, and I want to leave subsequent generations with a sustainable future. I am currently on the Risk Oversight Committee, the Executive Committee, and the Audit Committee. In fact, earlier today, even though he was traveling, he had a meeting with the CFO, Amrit Singh, Mike Maher of Maher Accountancy, and Karen Chang, Manager of Accounting. So, from the comfort of the DFW American Airlines Admiral Club. I am thoroughly versed on the issues of SVCE, and I don't understand that sentence, so I'm going to stop. Please note that I will endeavor to attend each executive committee meeting in 2025 and am committed to refreshing my knowledge of calendar etiquette and calendar use, and there will be no more calendar malfunctions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The third name I have here is Director Martinez Beltran.
I will just say ditto to everything that I said earlier. I've served on the executive committee already twice in preparation to run for vice chair for the past 2 years, and I would just like to continue to serve on it. Thanks.
Thank you. The fourth name I have here is Director Meadows.
Thank you, former chair. So I've been serving on SVCE for 4 years, 2 years as an alternate, 2 years as a board member, and I'm presupposing my council's actions for next week, but I believe I'm being appointed again this year. Some of us, I think, are on a little bit of a later schedule. So in which case, 2025 would be my third year as the board director with 2 previous years as alternate. I've been serving on the Risk Oversight Committee, I think, for 2 years. And I was 1 year formally on the Finance Administration, and then and I was on Executive Committee last year. So, of course, I respect whatever my colleagues choose and fully support the entire Executive Committee. But I think I'm known for, and in fact have been known through even my professional career, for asking good questions. And that's what I do, I think, in the board, but on the Executive Committee too, which really allows us to chew things over, to use a really disgusting analogy, before things come forward to the board. So that is why I request your support to serve on the Executive Committee again this year.
Okay, thank you. The fourth name is Director Tyson. So, Board Chair Tyson. You have my permission to speak. Sorry, couldn't resist that. You make my life difficult tonight.
I appreciate the permission, and I will just echo Vice Chair Klein's comment that I believe that we should implement so that the chair and vice chair are automatically part of this in the future. I think that makes a lot of sense in terms of continuity in the overall organization, leadership of the organization.
Thank you. The next one is my name, but then we have one more. So I'm going to give the floor in keeping with the tradition of the chair running the meeting. I'm going to turn to Director Scazola first.
Thank you. After serving on this board for the last 2 years, as well as on the legislative and finance committees, I admit that I still have a lot to learn, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I'd like to have the opportunity to serve on the executive committee. I can't think of a better place to accelerate my education and ultimately better serve the board's interests and goals. I'd also add, I'm extremely proud of my continual fight for the working class and poor within our community. One of my fellow council members even calls me the FDR of Campbell, which I try to live up to every day. It's true. As an executive committee member, I will continue advocating for programs and policies that would help the people who can least afford the transition to electrification and those who are struggling to pay their electric bills. As an educator, I'll be advocating for continuing and expanding programs to not only inform our customers about the benefits of electrification, but also further educate our youth when it comes to climate change and the many ways they can help combat it, beginning within their own home. Thank you.
Thank you. And I am going to keep it very brief. You're hearing more than enough from me tonight. So I am only going to make the case that, yes, I have been on the executive committee the last 2 years. 2 years ago, I was the chair of the executive committee as the board vice chair at that time. And in 2024, I was the board chair and therefore on the executive committee, but I did not take the leadership role on the executive committee. And for 2025, my request of my colleagues would be that it would be helpful for SVCE to have the immediate past chair of SVCE board to be on the executive committee for continuity, because there is a lot of information and knowledge, thought process, deliberations that have gone through in 2024 that I am privy to. And I think I would be in a position to specifically be there to help in the conversations at the executive committee level. So I'm not going to add anything more. There's no need to. Thank you. And we did public comment. And any questions from board members? Okay, I am going to...
Question about process, which I'm assuming you're about to explain. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I was going to ask for that, but I'm going to make a comment, and this is helpful because I may be chairing this meeting, but I'm not the board chair or the board vice chair. So in all fairness, I'm in a position to say the executive committee should definitely have the board chair and the vice chair. And I am seeing nods all around. So just keep in mind, there are 7 names here in front of us for maximum 6 members. Out of those 6, let us say, based on the nods, that board chair Tyson and board vice chair Klein should be on the executive committee. Should is my word. So with that, we need to, from the other 5 names, we need to have 4 names. Am I missing something here? Our legal counsel and the CEO are conferring something.
It's just confirming with general counsel that that's not in our JPA or our operating rules. And because you're doing something that's not in our documents, should you take a vote on that? That is to automatically appoint the chair and the vice chair.
Okay, no, I didn't say automatically. I was basing it on the nods in terms of the discussion. I have not decided the complete process because I really want people, if they want to change the process. Because one way is somebody could make a motion with 6 names, but then we'll have a discussion. So I was trying to have the discussion ahead of time. That's kind of where I was going. For thought process, most of us, I believe, would want to see the board chair and the board vice chair on the executive committee. And so I was helping people to think through that. And I believe I'm okay in saying that, Michael.
Yeah,
Correct?
I think you can make that comment, but just for clarity's sake, it's not a requirement that the
Correct.
chair and vice chair are on.
I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. I do have one question for you, and then I'm going to take the question and comments from Director Risto as well as Director Showalter. Why don't you go ahead first?
I was just going to say that while we're talking about the change of process, perhaps this isn't the meeting to do it, but maybe it is. We just had an issue where there was an even number that caused a problem. And I'm wondering if it would be better to make this a committee of 7. And if so, what do we need to do to make that happen?
Okay, I can respond to that. The committee of 7 would make it a Brown Act clash with the board. The board has 7 as the majority, so that
Thank you for that information. Okay.
That would not work. And my question of CEO Padilla was going to be, and for Michael, General Counsel, is there an issue with the Risk Oversight Committee in terms of Brown Act with the names you see in front of the executive committee right now?
No, there's no issue there.
There's no issue? Okay, great. Director Risto.
Thank you. I just thought if we wanted to break this down and it would help move things forward, I would make a motion right now just to appoint Director Klein and, Vice Chair Klein and Chair Tyson as a first step to the executive committee. Is that?
Second.
Okay, let's have a roll call vote on that.
Thank you. Director Scozola.
Aye.
Fruin.
Aye.
Hilton.
Aye.
Thank you. Meadows.
Aye.
Tyson.
Yes.
Risto.
Aye.
Barbadillo.
Aye.
Thank you. Craig.
Yes.
Martinez Beltran.
Aye.
Showalter.
Yes.
Walia.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Director Risto, thank you for picking up where I was going. That's what happens when you do things organically. That's kind of my style. Rather than saying that, I wanted one of you to feel comfortable to do that. Okay, with that, now we have 5 other names and 4 of them. The only thing I forgot, and I want to take benefit of the microphone in front of me, it has been said before, I show up for all meetings on time in person in the SVCEA offices, and I would really like it to be on the EC. Comments or motion or any suggestion, or if someone wants to withdraw from their interest?
Motion.
Okay, do I have a motion? Oh, Director Scozola. I'm sorry. I didn't see
no,
that.
no problem.
That's what happens when you're sitting.
I know. Okay, I hope I'm doing this correctly, being that we've already selected. We're all in agreement for the first 2.
Yeah.
So I would like to make the motion for the following 4 to be added to the executive committee for year 2025, which would be Director Martinez Beltran, Director Meadows, Director Walia, and Director Scozola.
I'll second that.
Oh, sorry. No, that's great. That's great. That's moving things along. Any comments, thoughts, Director Risto?
Thank you. Looking at the executive board, obviously it's a group that works well together. A lot of good experience. I also think it's important with any of these organizations to make sure that we start feathering new people in, because with term limits and other things, you can suddenly one year have a loss of institutional knowledge. And with that, I'll be supporting this slate, bringing Director Scozola along as a new person, a new voice on the executive committee.
Thank you. Any other thoughts? Director Klein?
Yes, I totally, I agree with what Director Risto has said. I do think that we need to think through a process where the executive board does change over, not say more often, but bringing in those new ideas I do think is critical. I do want to make a case, and in deference to Director Scazola, Director Mekachek isn't here tonight to make his case for him. He's served as last year served as vice chair for the executive committee. I do think, and he has been with the organization for many years, I do think, and I don't know how we break the tie of going from 5 to 4, but I do think that I do want to advocate on his behalf, mainly because he's also, similar to several others, have been with the organization for many years, and conceivably would be moving from vice chair to chair, but of course that's for the executive committee to decide. But I do want to make that statement on his behalf. I think that his passion for this organization, as well as I think he's on all the different subcommittees for this past year. So his commitment to the organization is well-founded, and sorry that he's not here tonight to make his statement. But I wanted to say that, at least in his favor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Klein. I think, am I mistaken, or did you want to make a comment, Director Meadows?
I was hoping you would read my mind rather than me having to make a comment. So I don't know if your comment earlier was directed at me. I attended remotely the last part of the year, as everyone knows, because I had a medical disability. So if that is I don't think I missed a meeting, though I may have. But if that is an issue, I would be happy to withdraw and have the 6 other than myself. I don't know if that's where you were going earlier.
My comment certainly was not directed at you,
Okay.
Dr. Meadows. I want to assure you.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I
And apologize if that's how it came across. We all know you were stellar. You had a medical issue, and yet you took so many meetings. I have personally been in touch with you at that time. I can assure you that is not my style.
Okay, and when I stand, it's the same issue. I'm not like getting ready to stomp out of the room or anything. So
I totally respect that, and I meant it when I said at the beginning of the meeting that I'm thrilled you're here with us in person.
All right, thank you. Just wanted to be sure we connected. All right. Then
Absolutely.
I stand firm.
Okay. Other thoughts? Other thoughts? Director Martinez Beltran?
Yes, I'll be supporting this as well. I think it's great to have new ideas, and I think Director Scazola as well as Meadows have certainly contributed greatly. So thank you.
Other thoughts? Director Fruin?
Yeah, I'd just like to echo at least one thing that I heard Director Klein say, which was, that we do have to figure out how it is that we move new people into the organization, and also how we balance that with institutional knowledge. I think that's a really hard balancing act. One of the things that I think makes it especially difficult is that all of us are appointed to this body by our own individual city councils, and those processes vary from city to city. So you may see some of us here for a long period of time, and some of us might only get 1 year to be here. And what that means is that if we have an exceedingly long procedure for you to be able to move into leadership, that it's very hard to see people from certain communities be able to actually take that on. So I just wanted to put that out there. It certainly motivated my decision in the last round of votes, but I think it's important to keep those 2 points on the scale in mind.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. We have discussed enough. Unless there is any other comment, and we took public comment, right? Yes, this meeting is running long. I mean, seriously, I've had very efficient meetings when I was chair. This is me filling in for board chair Tyson. Okay, let's have a vote, please, Andrea.
Yes, thank you. And just to clarify, this is a vote for Director Scozola, Meadows, Martinez Beltran, Walia, and Klein for the.
We already did Klein and.
Sorry, minus Klein. Walia, Martinez Beltran, Meadows, and Scozola for the executive committee, in addition to Klein and Tyson, which were already voted on. Director Scozola?
Aye.
Director Fruin?
Aye.
Director Hilton?
Aye.
Director Meadows?
Aye.
Director Tyson?
Yes.
Risto?
Aye.
Barbadillo?
Aye.
Craig?
No.
Martinez Beltran?
Aye.
Showalter?
Aye.
Walia?
Aye.
Klein?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carries.
Thank you so much. Okay, now the easy part. Item number 5. We are going to have the SVCE Community Grants update, and this is going to be presented by Jessica Corneo, who is our Senior Community Strategies Specialist. Your report, please. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi, good evening, board. Alrighty. Well, as Director Wally has mentioned, my name is Jess Cornejo, and I am the Senior Community Strategies Specialist at SVCE. Next slide. To kick us off for 2025, I will be providing a brief update on the status of member agency projects that were awarded an SVCE grant. Next slide. To provide some background, SVCE has released 3 grants to date for the member agencies. Our first grant cycle started in 2020 with the Community Resiliency Grant, which offered non-competitive funds for technical assistance and investments in various resiliency measures that would plan and prepare against climate impacts and power outages. The second grant cycle was the 2022 Decarb Engagement and Demonstration Grant, which provided competitive funding to support the development of capital projects, showcasing the feasibility of all electric appliances and educating the public on electrification in innovative ways. Lastly, we have our latest round, which we just launched last October, and it provides both non-competitive and competitive funding for a variety of projects that support building and transportation electrification, energy resilience, or community engagement projects. The competitive grant will allow agencies to pursue additional funds with the option to stack with their non-competitive allocation. Next slide. So these grants are a community investment, and they align with SVCE's mission while supporting each of your jurisdiction's individual climate goals. All 13 jurisdictions have implemented really awesome projects, and to date, SVCE has supported 27 projects related to battery storage, retrofits that include heat pump water heaters, HVAC systems, community events, resources, funding fellows, and EVs and EV chargers. And lastly, a heat island reduction pilot project as well. Next slide. So this table provides a status overview of each member agency's community resilience and either decarb demonstration and or engagement grant projects, as well as the total award amount for just these 2 cycles. To note, since the 2022 grant cycle was an optional competitive grant, some agencies do not have working projects for those areas, which is why NA is listed. While most of the projects are in progress or complete, 2 of the projects are facing additional challenges due to a combination of staff constraints and rising project costs. These projects are currently moving forward, but SVCE and city staff will be assessing the projects to ensure the feasibility of completion. Next slide. Another feature that makes our grant program unique is that SVCE provides hands-on supports for your jurisdictions. There is a dedicated SVCE staff member to answer questions on the grant process as well as the grant requirements. The application process is simple and streamlined to ensure that they could really easily access funds. We also solicit feedback from agencies so that we could improve the grant process and overall customer experience for them with each cycle. And lastly, we will be conducting a E&V report or an impact report on behalf of agencies so that we can assess impacts and results like emissions reductions for them. And of course, we also coordinate and pursue external grants like the CFI grant that Monica mentioned earlier. In closing, we understand these grants are a huge resource and help to your agencies as well as our service territory. So SVCE will continue to assist agencies with current as well as future projects as much as we can. Thank you.
Jess, thank you so much for your presentation. And I want to turn to the board. Do you have any questions? This is what makes everything possible. And I do know we spend all the time and effort working with staff to find creative ways to make grants possible for the different cities. And so this is just lovely to get the update from staff to see where we are, how each city is getting the benefit. And I can personally say, it's not just knowing what's happening in my city of Saratoga. Knowing what's happening in the other cities helps me think of creative, and I really mean in my city, creative solutions, how we can make something possible where money is limited. And one of those things Monica, CEO Padilla was mentioning earlier. So with that, that was my way of giving everyone else another 30 seconds in case you had any thoughts. And there is Director Showalter. There you go.
I don't really have a question, but I do have a comment, and that is I just want to thank the SVCE staff for their really close coordination with staff from the City of Mountain View to make these programs work so well for us and our residents. We really appreciate it, and without that close coordination, it wouldn't have worked. So thank you.
Wonderful. Director Klein?
And I'll reiterate what Director Showalter just said. You know, as most of you have been to the Sunnyvale City Hall, and not that we didn't have it as planned, but, you know, being net zero and working towards that with Silicon Valley Clean Energy's help really is a great, you know, feather in the cap for our city, but specifically for this organization, showing what can be done to me is really critical. And, you know, happy that we're able to have these programs for each of the cities in the jurisdiction to basically show what residents what can be done, as well as trying to help them, you know, set that example, educate them on the good things that this organization is doing, because that is lost in a lot of organizations. A lot of things that different organizations around the county, around the Bay Area are doing, residents don't have any concept of. And so being able to point to specific things that happen in each of our cities is really valuable at the end of the day, and showing that this organization is making a difference from decarbonization, from you know, eliminating greenhouse gases. And I thank, you know, staff for all their hard work in working with our city. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to open public comment. Seeing none, we close public comment, bring it back to the board. Any other comments? Seeing none, I agree with what has been said by Director Showalter and Director Klein, and I will only say thanks to the greater coordination that's coming from staff, now other cities are also going to be getting the benefit. SVCE staff has been fabulous all along. Smaller cities just didn't have the bandwidth. So with the work that has been done in the last year with permit modernization and closer coordination, we will all get the benefit. Okay, with that, any other thoughts? Gone? Okay. Any board member announcements or direction on future agenda items? Any announcements? we do have a closed session to go through. Okay. At this point, I'm going to announce that we have a closed session that the board will be going into pretty soon. It's a conference with legal counsel in for the anticipated litigation for one potential case, and I'm going to open for public comment on this item. Andrea? No public comment, close public comment, and we're going to go into closed session, and then we'll come back here, meet here again, and report from the closed session. Okay, so it's 9:25 p.m. and we are back here with nothing to report from the closed session. The board met, and I'm just going to say we are looking forward to another wonderful year at SVCE, partnering with all the cities, continuing our mission to address affordability, reliability with clean energy, and reducing all those greenhouse gas emissions. The mission continues, the work continues, and with that, I bid you all a nice evening, and thank you so much. The meeting is adjourned.